Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into the absolutely beautiful world of wagashi. Now, if you're not familiar, these are traditional Japanese confections, but they are so much more than just a sweet treat. Seriously, they're like tiny pieces of art, and they're deeply connected to nature and the seasons. Let's get right into it.
So here's a really cool way to understand wagashi, and it's a theme we're going to come back to again and again. You can think of them as an edible haiku, a short, elegant poem that captures a single fleeting moment in nature. It's just a perfect metaphor, and it's going to be our guide for this whole explainer.
And that really is the big question, isn't it? How can something you eat, something made from just a few simple ingredients, possibly hold the same depth and beauty as a poem? Well, believe it or not, it can, and that's exactly what we're here to unpack.
Okay, so every single poem, no matter how grand, starts with something very simple: words. And for our wagashi poem, the words are its core ingredients. And you'll see they are humble, they are natural, and they are almost entirely plant-based.
What's fascinating is just how simple this palette is. First, you've got rice, which gives wagashi its backbone, its structure. Then you have beans, usually azuki beans, which are turned into this incredible sweet paste called anko. This is really the soul of most wagashi. Then there's kanten, a gelling agent that comes from seaweed, and that's what gives it form and shape. And finally, of course, sugar for flavor and preservation. And that's pretty much it. These are the basic words the artisan gets to work with.
So, if the ingredients are the words, then the way the artisans shape and combine them, well, those become the stanzas of our poem. And the theme, the subject of this poetry, is almost always the same thing: the beautiful, fleeting passage of the seasons.
For example, in spring, the whole theme is renewal, which is of course symbolized by the cherry blossom. So artisans will create sakurama mochi. It's a delicate rice cake filled with that sweet red bean paste, and then it's wrapped in a salted cherry leaf. You don't just see spring, you can literally taste it and smell it.
And this is where the artistry just gets incredible. Even with the same seasonal sweet, you'll find these amazing regional variations. So the Kanto style, from the Tokyo area, uses this really thin, crepe-like skin. But the Kansai style, from around Osaka, uses coarse, sticky rice, which gives it a totally different, grainy texture. It's like two different poets writing about the same flower in their own unique dialect.
Then, when the heat of summer rolls around, the poem needs to evoke a feeling of coolness. And that's where something like mizu yokan comes in. It's made with a bit more water and that kanten gelling agent, giving it this super refreshing jelly-like texture and a translucent look. It's a perfect little escape from the heat, just by looking at it.
Come autumn, everything's about the harvest, and so the stanzas of our poem become richer, more earthy. You'll start to see wagashi featuring chestnuts or curry in all kinds of forms. Maybe it's a chestnut-filled mochi or sweet, candied chestnuts. It's a direct taste of that autumn bounty.
And in winter, this is where artisans can really reach the peak of their craft. They use a special, pliable paste called nerikiri. It's made from sweet white beans and rice flour, and with it they sculpt these breathtakingly delicate shapes, like the perfect geometric form of a snow crystal. It's pure, edible art. Just amazing.
Okay, now here is a super interesting historical curveball for you. Some of the most Japanese wagashi actually have foreign roots. Can you believe it? Yokan, that classic bean jelly, it didn't start as a sweet at all. It came from China as a meat-based soup. And kampeito, those little star-shaped sugar candies, they were brought over by Portuguese traders in the 16th century. Of course, over many years, Japan totally adapted them and made them uniquely its own.
All right, so we have the words, the ingredients, and we have the stanzas, the seasonal designs. But where is this edible poem actually recited? Well, the main stage for wagashi is the traditional Japanese tea ceremony.
The role of wagashi here is absolutely crucial. In a tea ceremony, you drink matcha, which is really potent and has a distinct bitterness. So you actually eat the intensely sweet wagashi first. It prepares your palate, balancing out that bitterness and actually making the tea's flavor even better. They're a perfect pair.
I just love this metaphor. If the tea itself is the script, the main event, then the wagashi is the lighting and the scenery. It's what sets the mood, it establishes the season we're in, and it creates the whole atmosphere for the tea to be properly appreciated.
Now, for tea ceremonies, wagashi are generally split into two main types. You have namagashi, which literally means raw or wet sweets, like that sculpted nerikiri we saw. They've got a high moisture content, a very short shelf life. They are the fresh, star-of-the-show centerpiece.
On the other hand, you have higashi, or dry sweets. Think pressed sugar candies. They have a long shelf life and show up in a wider variety of settings.
And this all brings us to this really profound philosophical idea, ichigo, ichie. It translates to one time, one meeting. It's this beautiful concept that every single encounter, every moment, is unique and will never happen again in exactly the same way. The seasonal wagashi is the perfect expression of this. That cherry blossom wagashi is only around for a few short weeks in spring. It captures that one fleeting moment, reminding you to be present and to cherish the here and now.
So let's bring all of this together. Let's step back and really appreciate what this edible poem is trying to tell us.
So, here it is, the full anatomy of our edible poem. The words are those simple, pure ingredients. The craft is the incredible skill of the artisan sculpting nature. The theme, of course, is the fleeting beauty of the four seasons. The recital happens during the tea ceremony, and the result? It's a profound connection to nature, to time, and to the present moment.
Ultimately, wagashi isn't just for tasting. No way. It's meant to be experienced with all 5 of your senses. You're supposed to see its beauty, feel its texture, smell its subtle aroma, and even hear its poetic name that evokes a season. It's a complete sensory experience, a miniature work of art that asks you to just slow down and appreciate one single perfect moment.
So I'll leave you with this thought. Wagashi isn't just food. It's a lens. It's a new way of seeing the world. So the next time you're lucky enough to see one of these beautiful creations, don't just think of it as a sweet. Look closer. Ask yourself, what story is this little poem telling me? What season will you see in it?